watching Keeping It Green. I'm your host, Debbie Klughers, and today I have three special guests with me, and we are going to be discussing an environmental musical that we filmed about a month ago over at Stony Brook University.
That's right.
And we'll be discussing the musical and some other great environmental talk. So first I'd like to welcome Lena Verniers. Welcome to Keeping It Green. And Sadie Klughers, my beautiful daughter. Welcome to Keeping It Green. And Dr. Htun. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming on the show. We usually start the show off with an environmental tip or a recycling tip. So I'll start off with that. As we all know, there's great problems in the world today due to greenhouse gases and global warming and petroleum and gasoline and all that kind of stuff. So I thought a good discussion today to start off would have to do with transportation and fuel efficiency on our vehicles. And transportation accounts for 67% of the U.S. oil use, mainly in the form of gasoline. And better gas mileage is something that all people, I think, are concerned about, whether they're concerned about the environment or not. They're concerned about their pockets. So a few tips. One is to drive sensibly instead of, fast starts, fast stops. We've all heard that, I think,
Right.
slowing, at a more moderate pace. And most cars get the best fuel mileage between 40 and 60 miles per hour. So that's a good thing to shoot for. Another thing is to remove excess weight from the vehicles. 100 pounds lowers, extra 100 pounds in your vehicle lowers your fuel efficiency by 1 to 2%. So if we clean out some things that we don't need, avoid excess idling. When you see people's cars just sitting there, outside of a deli or something like that, their fuel efficiency is zero. They're getting 0 miles per gallon, and they're wasting gas and, contributing to more greenhouse gas emissions. So 30 seconds of idling on a winter day is all that's really needed. The best way to warm up the car is to drive it. Cruise control is a good way to save gas. It just keeps it at a steady pace. And telecommuting, carpooling, and public transportation, are three key things. A little bit difficult on the East End with the public transportation, but something to be worked on. And then maintenance of the vehicles. Fuel efficiency can be lowered if we have bad spark plugs, bad brakes, not enough air pressure in our tires, and all these things. The motor oil that the manufacturer recommends can, if you're not using the proper motor oil, it can decrease your fuel efficiency by 1 or 2%. May sound like a little bit, but if everybody does it, we know what that means.
All adds up.
It all adds up. And then, those are kind of short-term, and then the long-term savings tip, which I hope that someday everyone will be able to take advantage of, is buying higher fuel efficiency vehicles, the hybrids, the alternative gas, hydrogen powered vehicles, and, electric vehicles, the way of the future. Hopefully we could be able to afford them someday. They're kind of cost prohibitive, I think, now, but for long-term change. Dr. Htun, do you have any environmental?
And all these quote-unquote tips, which you've just mentioned, they're excellent. Each on their own may seem small, trivial actions, but together they add up. And over the weeks, the months, the years, they're quite significant. As you said, besides lowering greenhouse gas emissions, it helps our pockets too. It saves money. We won't burn so much gasoline. You did mention about carpooling too. Wherever it is possible, let's try to do it. But a variation of that is also, before we jump on a car and go to do our many chores, which we have to do, the post office, to the deli, or to the supermarket, if we were to plan ahead a little and do all these things together. So instead
Buying them all into one trip.
Buy them all in one trip. So instead of doing 3-4 trips a day, can we do it in one day?
Yep.
Or instead of doing 6 trips over 2 days, can we do all that in one day? So all that helps and add up.
Definitely
It's
Everyone can make a difference. That's everyone
Everyone
thinks,
can
oh,
make a
I
difference.
can't make a difference. Me, what is it?
no,
You know,
we can. We can
I
make
think we all can too.
certainly. Yes, indeed.
Lady, do you have an environmental tip?
I do. I think if we all change to cloth bags instead of the grocery store bags, it would use less to make them, and we could help save with that. And
Very
also to take a reusable mug instead of from the coffee store.
And you use a stainless steel thermos to bring water to school every day.
Yep.
You're a very ecologically minded young lady. That's terrific. How about you, Lena?
I think that for kids who like take lunch to school and don't eat at the cafeteria should use like reusable bags, like plastic containers instead of brown paper bags and plastic bags that just get their waste.
That's great.
Very good.
Do you notice a lot of kids bringing in, you know, in the little plastic containers and stuff instead of throwing away their baggies and all that?
Some kids do, but a lot of people bring brown paper bags.
Maybe you could have a little, like a little. And I read a little something that one day somebody asked you to give a presentation on environmental issues, and you were so good at it and so passionate that they actually asked you to continue in that line, and that's where you found your calling for
I switch
teaching.
career. That's right.
That's wonderful. And I think you're a perfect example of research, education, and links between energy, pollution, and people. I mean, you just encompass like the whole deal there.
Yes. And you started this program by mentioning about transportation. Really, when we talk about transportation, as we know of it now, it's heavily dependent upon fossil fuel energy. Form of energy is fossil fuel, petroleum fuel. So energy, particularly fossil fuel, plays a very, very important and central role. On the one hand, in every aspect of development, transportation, industrial, agriculture, you name it. But on the other hand, we also know that through the use, overuse, and misuse of this fossil fuel, it creates pollutants and environmental problems.
Even in the extraction, of course, of these
Right throughout,
resources.
from exploration, extraction, transportation, refining, marketing, use, throughout the life cycle of the petroleum products, there are environmental problems.
Not only carbon dioxide, but you know,
whole lot
and
of them.
nitrogen, all kinds of.
Every time we
Nitrites.
burn, there's always nitrogen in the atmosphere. It forms oxides of nitrogen. This
Not good.
can combine with water vapor, become acidic,
Acid rain.
acid rain, and increasingly there used to be, but now it's coming back again, and it's carbonaceous carbon, black carbon. Some call it soot, S-O-O-T, soot, the black stuff. Now, there's a lot of this black stuff around, and particularly if we burn coal, and we are finding out more and more that these black carbon has a whole range of environmental and health impacts.
And there's different, like in the coal, there's